Okay, we're live, and what we're going to do is a blunder through, a documentation of how we're using Roblox to create worlds based on spatial geography of our real classrooms and field locations, and then bring them into Unity and into AltSpace. And if you're joining us, this is not entertainment. This is like watching paint dry, watching grass grow. It's a process that I'm documenting. And I'm documenting it live mostly so that I and my wife and our students can go back and mine whatever we discover, can ask questions about certain procedures, and so when we mess up, we can go back and see how and why we messed up. So I'll start from the beginning here. I'm in Roblox, and when you go to roblox.com, you'll end up in your home page. You should see your avatar and your avatar name, and then you can find your favorite games. If you go to profile, then you will see your profile, and then you will see the stuff you've been working on. And when I go to my favorites, I'm working today on, let's see, I'm working on USF sustainability. So I click on that. Now if I clicked on this button here, that would enable me to play the game. But I'm not going to play the game right now, I'm going to edit it. So I go here under the three dots on the right, and in German it's bearbeiten, but if you're doing an English version, you'll have it as edit. And so you click on the Open Roblox. It'll launch Roblox Studio, which is hopefully on your PC. Hopefully you downloaded it when you installed Roblox. If not, you'll need to download it, but it will ask you, it'll open a window and ask you to download it if you don't have it. And so we go into this version, which is our home space for the Patel College of Global Sustainability. And this is one I did just using the Google map without any interior knowledge. And so when you actually go into this mess of an experiment, you see that it is not, whoops, gotta get that there. Into the first one. It's not faithful to the real location because I had no idea what the inside really looked like except from memory. Like these are the bathrooms, and whoops, I should use the shift key when I'm moving about. So it's not that it's terrible because I did get it all in, I put in the classrooms, I even put in the Coke machine that's there. But it wasn't accurate because I had to do it from memory. So I've created a new version since the university has given me, let me zoom out of the walls here and get outside. This is what was the auditorium, and I go outside now. So there we are in the back of the building. So that was my major place or level that I spawned into. But if you open up, you can do it by going to View. If you open up Game Explorer, which is this button here, then you have this folder called Places, and if I click on it, I'm in the USF Sustainability home place, the spawn point. It has that little spawn point over there. But I've created two places underneath it: Student and Faculty Built Sustainatopia, Innoventor, and Follow the Sun. And in this one here, which is accessible from your Places menu, you can't find it out on the website. Oh, gee, I'm not even showing you this yet. You're just still stuck on... Or no, actually it did switch. Oh, good for OBS Studio. I've turned on this automatic feature that hopefully makes it switch when I forget to. Okay, so if you're actually out in the website, let me go back to the website a second, and in this case I will have to switch over for you. So when you're at the website, it's not listed as a game because it's a level. The place is a level in this game called USF Sustainability. So you're not going to find it under games. So you would play the game, and when you went into the game, I'll show you, I put in a portal right here. Whoops. Whoa, let me get up on the ground here. So step on the green plate to go to collaborative construction site. And this is a portal, go to plate, where it triggers, it has a script, and the script says teleport service, and then teleports you to the local place, 524-594-990-68, whatever it is. And so when you step on that plate, it takes you into that place. All right, that's how we access. So that level is kind of hidden in unless you go into the game, and then you're able to go and play the game in the other level. And normally this is used so that there's an entrance sort of lobby that you get into, and then from there you go to different levels of the game. So that's what. Oh, it didn't change over. Lovely. So this is what I wanted to show you. Sorry. In the game, I have this step on the green plate to go to the collaborative construction site, and that's what takes you to the other levels. Okay. So when I want to open this, I open up Game Explorer, and I double-click on Student and Faculty Built Sustainatopia, and then it'll open the other level for editing. And let's see if that is in fact happening for you. It may not be, or is it? Okay, so let's see. I've got to open up another version of Roblox Studio here. Bear with me for a second. So I'm going to... he is awake. All right, one second. I'm just taking the baby. I'll be right with you. All right. Okay, so Roblox Studio is not changing over to that other Roblox Studio window, so let me add another screen to OBS Studio, make it a window capture, and call it Roblox Studio 2, and there, all right. And then say OK, and there it is. All right, so we've got that Roblox Studio and the other Roblox Studio. Okay. So that's what it triggers when you go on there. And here's where I have the schematic of USF, so I can actually build the building from the ground up much better. There's a few things I can bring in from the other game, however. So if I want to go back over to this Roblox Studio, and hang on. So if I want to go through that Roblox Studio, then I can go into the auditorium, for example. Shift W to slowly zoom in. And maybe I want to get this podium as it is. And so I will, that lectern, sorry, it's not a podium, it's a lectern. So I can actually click on it and do Control C for copy, and now go back over to my other Roblox Studio and hit Control V and paste it in. I didn't come in the right location. It's okay. I can now move it and drag it into the new auditorium, which is based on the plans, and put it where it belongs in there. And hit F to zoom in on it. All right, very good. So I can keep doing that. So all the assets that I created in one level of the game are fully transportable into the other version of the game, which is rather nice. So if I want to get this jukebox, let me show you what I'm talking about. So there's a jukebox, and I want to get that and bring that into the game. I can just copy it and now move over to the other game. And I can paste it in, and there it is. And bring that jukebox in. And I like to have those because I write these educational songs like Future is Here, and what's the other song that I have? My Utopia. And when I enter those codes in the jukebox script, then I can play educational songs in the classroom. So that's kind of fun to have. Now that functionality is not going to translate over to, it's not going to translate over to AltSpace, but it will work for the game version. And that's why I like to develop my games first in Roblox, because then we can play them. And then I can export stuff out to Unity to put into AltSpace just for walking around. But in AltSpace, I can actually show videos, show YouTubes, have a browser, go to various websites and do the teaching thing. Whereas in Roblox, I can't do that stuff on the fly. Everything's kind of baked in Roblox. And they don't let you talk because it's for kids and you can't use real names and real things. So there's limitations to Roblox, but Roblox is a whole lot of fun. And I think the development tools are pretty easy in Roblox. I like them pretty well. So for example, I've got some walls here that I need to develop. I haven't finished out this side of the room of the building. So these are markers. These red things are markers that I put in so I could align it with the Google map. So I'm going to make them transparent so I don't see them anymore because they've served their purpose. So let me see if I can find this transparency and click the transparency and bring it to 1. All right, but I'll remove them as I go one by one. So I'm going to grab a piece of wall here and duplicate it and drag it over to make the outside of the building. And you'll note that because there's curves, you're basically doing calculus, which is approximating a curve with straight segments. Great little teachable moment there. And so get this curve approximated, I'll drag this piece of wall and go to the top view and rotate it. And having that piece of wall situated properly, that's the inner wall, I'm going to duplicate that and bring it forward. Change the color and the material of this one so it's the outside of the building. So here I'm going to go to brick and I'm going to go to that color. And now I can duplicate that over and work on the curve. It's nice if you can work with architect's plans because then you get a pretty accurate rendition or simulation of your building. And you can find, if you're not trying to do a real building that you know, you can always find plans of basic houses online. There's tons of them, so you can build pretty realistic buildings. I'm actually making our college. I understand that Johns Hopkins just made their college in Minecraft, and they're having students and faculty work together to model the entire campus. Some are pleased by that, and some are angered because like we're paying tuition to go to a real college and you're building a cartoon college. But since you can't be on campus safely in many parts of the United States or disunited states, depending on your perspective these days, then it is certainly arguably better to have a recreation in 3D that you can move about with others rather than just using a Zoom or WebEx or Teams meeting in on a two-dimensional screen where nobody's wearing pants and you can just see their talking heads. Whereas here we can dress up in tuxedos and evening gowns if we want to. Have all the trappings of our decadent civilization. So there's a lot of good reasons for creating worlds in 3D. So scaling that. So we're beginning to approximate that curve. The other part, the inside wall, is because the building doesn't look like brick on the inside, so we just duplicate those walls. And there's a couple ways to do this. You can duplicate the one and then move it piece by painstaking piece. Oops, and there's a gap in that one, which isn't on. Got to scale that. You can scale these in different axes. But you could also, once you've sort of created the curve, you might as well take those sections and control click on them and then duplicate that because you've already made the curve and then drag it back. Oh, I missed a piece. And then grab those again. Make sure I get them all. And then go up and change the material. I think I was using wood. And change the color. So unfortunately this thing doesn't have a color picker, so it's kind of hard to remember exactly what color we had. So there's going to be some inconsistencies you have to fix. But that was a lot quicker. So just a tip for doing the inner walls and the outer walls. All right. Now, regarding the staircase, I don't want to build stairs. It takes a long time. So in my other model, I imported a staircase. You can go to Toolbox here and look at the models that are online. And hold on a second. Something coming in here. I'll check my messages. So I have voicemail. Okay. All right. So you can go in here and you can type in stairwell and see what the developers, the kind community has developed, see if anything suits you. Like this one here has multiple levels, and is that what you're seeing? I want to make sure that you're seeing what I'm seeing. Yes, you are. Okay, so it's not a spiral staircase. It's not that staircase. I think I can give this a try. This may work. So I'm going to drag that in. It may not fit perfectly, but it saves a lot of time. And so we're not going for complete verisimilitude when we develop these, like the elevators that I've put in here. Somebody had in the toolbox. And they work in Roblox. So I took that elevator. There's a bunch of them. I took that one because we were a multi-story building and somebody had made a multi-story elevator. And it works. You can get in and ride up the different floors. So even though it doesn't look exactly like our elevators, I'm looking for functionality equivalence. I'm not looking for complete verisimilitude. I mean, we know we're in a game. We look cartoony. Why try to make it perfect? Unless you're going for that, you know, wow, it looks exactly like it and I can't tell the difference sort of vibe. And that's not really going to happen for most of us, nor is it necessary. So I think this is pretty much how we're oriented at Patel College. Nice thing is if you use stuff developed by the Roblox community, it generally comes in at the right size. And if you try to develop yourself, you can spend hours trying to get the sizing right. These are sized for the characters, and so they kind of match. So I tend to use as many objects as I can from the Roblox community. I've tried to use stuff from Sketchfab and from Blender artists and from the Unity asset store, and they're all marvelous. But then I got these scaling problems, which I don't. By scaling, I don't mean calcium deposits. You know that. So, you know, I mean, that is kind of the way it actually exists at Patel. So I'm pretty satisfied with that. It looks like the floor is much higher, so I'm going to have to change the building accordingly if I want the staircase to work. But that's okay because nobody really knows. The plans didn't tell us how high the walls and the floors actually were. So we'll go with the default from Roblox and let that be our standard. We'll just make our walls a little higher. That's fine with me. You know, you can come in here and grab it and hit scale and scale it up. And then when we know what number that is, like it says position and the XYZ position. The Y is now, oh, it's not telling me 7.903, that's the position. What about the height? The height would be color, cast shadow, orientation, size. So the size is now 18.45. You see that right here at the bottom right. That, you can't see it. Why? Because my face is in the way. Good stuff, T. Let me move my face because I'll be doing a lot of stuff over there. Let me move my face like over here. And then you see, okay, now on the right, you see how tall it is. Whatever we determine that when we look at it orthogonally, whatever we determine is the right height, we'll just make all the walls. And now it's 19.75. I'm not sure yet. Something like that. 20.45. Maybe it's just 20. Maybe we'll make it 20. Maybe we'll bring this one down. And we'll just make a default height of 20 for this. If we do that, just make it 20, it's just a nice even number, and not that the world is made of even numbers. That's a big mistake. The world is not. But it does help for people to remember. It makes building easier. So sometimes we do stuff just based on even numbers. So here I'll go to size and just change this 14.05 and change it to 20. Oh, that didn't do much. What's that about? Scale this up. Oh, maybe it needs to be moved now. Ooh, no, I don't want to move like that. Let's move it up. Yeah, it's 20, but it wasn't sitting on the ground. It was in a different position. Oh, and so is this one. So 20 is too tall because I was sort of underground. Okay. So let's look at position for a second. Position XY, position at 10, really? Oh, because we're not on the ground, because we're above the ground. Well, something to work out. And we'll have to fix that because the building is actually above the 0 line. So we'll eyeball it for now, and then we'll take care of it. I just wanted to show that ability. And we have, on the other side of the building, we have another stairwell that I was trying to build by hand. And look, I was doing a terrible job. So I think that stairs, I'm going to just delete, forget it. Sometimes you'll use the same staircase for all of it. So I'm going to go Control D on that. Oh, I've got to name it, by the way. If you don't name it, you're kind of stuck. Stairwell. I'll call it, the other one should be called Stairwell. It's got models in it. Stairwell. Note that whenever you combine models, they're going to change the word just model. And that is going to confuse you. So name things whenever you can. So I'm going to drag that over here. That one is going to be called Stairwell East. So that's the east side of the building. This is going to be called Stairwell West Front. Okay. And let me now go to the top view. Rotate this. Let's see if we can. It probably is not going to match, or we probably need a mirror image because it isn't uniform. And that could scuttle our plans here a bit. Yeah, look at that. So that's a problem because it's right-handed. So what's the way to deal with that? Can we turn it upside down? I wonder, will that do it? I wonder if it'll serve the trick. If we turn it upside down, oh, it doesn't make any improvement. Still, the handedness of it is messed up. All right, I guess we won't be using. We'll be using the stairwell. Goodbye, Stairwell East. Because we don't want it to be. I said functionality is more important, but I do want it to be faithful to the way it feels in the building. And that stairwell would not be. So, is there another stairwell? If not, you'll just have to take the elevator. Stairwell There's that one. Cool stairwell, giant stairwell, and then it gets kind of weird. I mean, one could do something ambitious. Let's see this. What if we copy this stairwell and we move it over like we should and position it? Maybe we can break it apart. So I'm going to try that. Oh, this one, by the way, is going to be east. Not west. Rotate this into position. Bring it over. Rotate it one more time. So I don't know if this is feasible or not, but we'll find out. So we go into that stairwell and open up the model, like so. And there's a model there. I'm going to get off rotation and go to move. And there's a model down there. So this is top stair. Top flight, as it were. This one is, what is this one? Oh, thanks. Wait a minute, I grabbed the whole thing for a second. I think it went too low. Hold on, hold your horses there. Why is it correct? What is that ladder at the bottom? Well, that's not realistic at all, so we will bury that underground. Huh, funny thing that. Alright, so that part is the ladder, which is not useful in this case. That is the middle light. This one is the bottom flight. Okay. This part of the model is the, what is this? Oh, this is the upper bottom, whatever, upper bottom, and this one is the, wait a minute, oh, that's the middle top, and this is the middle bottom flight. So I named this wrong. This should be bottom upper, and then this one is bottom lower. Should get consistent with my naming. Bottom lower, middle top. So bottom lower, I'm going to move over. Bang. There we go. And then bottom upper needs to be moved that way. And then middle bottom needs to be moved over. So this wasn't so hard. And then middle top needs to be moved over on YouTube. And then top flight needs to be moved over, and we have successfully reconfigured our staircase to be in alignment with the real staircase at Patel. And now we back it up a little bit. Ah, good. That's promising. All right, stairwell east is done. That's why I like modeling in Roblox. I think it's a pretty friendly procedure. Oh, what?
What is that? Why did you show the map? How can you put this map?
Oh, I brought it in as a schematic.
Yeah.
They sent it to me.
How do you put it?
I created a plane, and then I textured it. No, I did it all in Roblox.
Okay.
To answer the question that we have, so you can bring in, let me just show you so you see what I'm doing here. If you have a schematic that you want to put over a piece of property, what you do is you you can insert part, and then that part, zoom in on, comes in as a plank or a block. And if I wanted to, then I just immediately name it, and I can call it ground plane for NAS, so I know which one we're talking about. So you take that plane, and then you scale it to whatever size you want to do. Oops, not the top of it. You scale it, and then you find a piece of map that you want to put on. So you go to your decals in your images, like I have my images.
So you just get a box?
Yeah, you make a box, and then you can like drop a map on it. See? Boom. I made it. And it doesn't have to be, it can be anything. Oh, I went to part, block, or in my case, I right-clicked. I right-clicked on insert part. Or I can just go to part up here at the top and say part block. I can put a block, a sphere, a wedge, or a cylinder. And then you texture it with whatever. Yeah, I put a block, and I made it as large as I wanted to.
You did not make it, just borrowed it and edit.
Yeah. And I can put whatever decal I want to on it. See? Anything I have, like if I want to put the SDGs, I can put them on. Or if I want to put the schematic, I have the schematic and I just drop the schematic on. See? And then I can move it into position and start working with it. And I have to size it, of course. And I usually use cars, like this police car here, to do the sizing. Because if you have a landscape that has cars on it, and you use a Roblox car to get the size, everything else kind of works. So I usually bring in stuff that has a piece of landscape, and then I bring a car in and I go, does it fit? I may be even a little bit on the big side here, but it's better to be a little big than a little small. It feels cramped if you're small. So that's how you bring in pieces of schematic and landscape. And that's what I did for the whole Google map as well. And then I sized it and I tried to precisely place it. And I'm really afraid that somebody's going to click on it like this and then move it. And then, it's out of space. So hit Control Z, go back to that and hope that you don't do that. Hope you don't move stuff because it took a while to get things in place. All right. So we've got that in there. There is this double door. Where's my double door? I liked the double door here. It's a glass double door, I believe. Yeah, no, it's not. This is a wooden double door. So that's not the one I'm going to use for the outside because Patel has glass doors leading outside. So I'm going to go to Toolbox and go to the Marketplace and search for double glass door and see if they have something. There's a double door there. There's a large double glass door. There's a double door there. I kind of like the look of this one. And again, it's not going to be the same exactly as what Patel has. That's just not going to happen. So you choose one that you think represents it, or you spend hours making the door. But that's a pretty good one there. I do want to size this a bit bigger. It's an outdoor. It's not standard size door, so I'm going to scale it. But unfortunately, you can't scale it in one dimension. The whole thing is going to scale. But that's okay for the purposes of this model. Somebody's going to say, hey, that's not what the real door looks like. And then maybe you can go back later and change the door. Here we have a single glass door. Oops, let me bring this down. Somehow this got moved too high, I think. Oh, I see. It's the bottom part there. Yeah. All right, so there's a glass door under there. And so I'm going to go just glass door. And walking glass, there's a glass door here. Oh, and there's one with a click. Oh, shoot, I shouldn't have done that. Control Z. What happened to my landscape? Oh, yeah. Trees in the way. glass click open door. So this means there's a script attached to it with functionality that you click on it and it opens. And that's cool. So let's put that door in. Which way is the handle usually on a door in America? Darn, I can't remember. Oh, it seems that either way it won't matter. Okay. So Shift S to move back slowly. Move the door into position. And because of the model, I'll bring it forward a bit. And let's get a wall pieces in for this wall well. Let's grab this piece here and let's duplicate it and let's move it forward. There. And it looks like they have a very thick wall on the inside. Or that's some inner space, but I'm just going to thicken it. So what I'll do is I'll duplicate this one and rotate it. Move it back. And then since it's one continuous wall, it's a straight line, I'll just scale it like that. Textures, I'm getting them from up here under material. So I'll show you because I'm going to make a duplicate wall. I'm going to texture it with wood. Let me just finish putting this wall in so it reaches. Oh, it's not rotated properly. So let me rotate this better in like that so it matches up. Yeah, I know you got to get really close in to see if it's really touching. That's where you use your game controller keys, the WASD and the Shift key, and you kind of slowly, using the right mouse button to kind of change your view, you slowly move in. Yeah.
Perpendicular.
Yeah.
Or is that then very slower with what?
It's a bit of an art,
like
right?
There's extra out, there's extra.
Yeah. So now what I'm going to do is take this wall, and I'll answer your question about the texturing. I'm going to duplicate this wall and move it inside slightly. And then I'm going to go to scale and thicken it so it covers up that whole area there. But what I'm going to do with that, and let me scale it also a little bit into here. And this has to be scaled a bit. And this needs to be moved too. Okay. And this needs to be rotated. So there's all these little micro manipulations that you're going to end up doing. But this part here is going to be changed. I'm going to go up here to material, and I picked, it was brick, right? But I'm going to change the material from brick to wood, and then I'm going to change the color to wood color. Now here, obviously, it isn't far enough in, so I need to make sure I move it so it doesn't compete with the other wall. There we go. And then I see a gap opened up. Oops. And then I'll do the same thing on the other side, and it looks like our stairwell here is too big relative to the way it really is. So I have a choice to make. I can either let it go and be a bit too big and go off plan, which is the easier way to do it, just let it be large, or I can stick to plan, bring this in, and try to manipulate my stairwell. And if you become a stickler for verisimilitude, then you would manipulate the part if it allows it. So let's see. So if I go back here to Stairwell West and I go to the model, I would have to take the actual piece, which is, let me Alt-click on this. No, I can't get into it. Let me do Alt-click Select. I'm going to try to zoom all the way into it. And let me see if I can Alt-select. Yeah, just that piece. And then I can go to Scale and see if I can, yeah, I can back that piece in. And if I do back that piece in, now I've got to pick my stairwell, not just the stair, because it's all, this is like all broken apart. Not that, but this part of the model, which is called actually, what is that? It's, what piece is that? That is first stair, first middle, stairs, first floor upper, and bring that, move that in. That doesn't leave a lot of space for somebody to walk. So I could scale that, but the thing is, if I try to scale that, it just scales too small, so it becomes a problem. So part of me thinks, you know what, it isn't worth it to try to painstakingly manipulate this. Nobody's going to notice a few inches off here. So I'm going to go back and move that out and just deal with the fact that I'm using Roblox stairs and I like them better. And so I'm going to modify the building to be in coherence with the Roblox stairs. Pause for what? He's sleeping? Okay. So actually this is really rotated wrong. No? Maybe he what? You mean you want me to take him in the rack? No. All right. So let me go offline for a second and pick this up in a few minutes. And when we come back, I'll keep building out this side of the building. Eventually today, I'm going to export it to Roblox. To Unity, but I might as well do that now before I pick up my son, and I'll have a version of it. So I'm going to publish to Roblox, and then I'm going to take the entire model and shift click that. I don't need, of course, the players, the lighting, any of that. So I've got just all the models. And I'm going to right click on that and go export selection. And it'll export as an OBJ, which I will put into my Blender exports for AltSpace folder. And I already have one from yesterday, but since I've updated it, I'm going to overwrite what I did. So it should be under, I want to know, where is it? I don't see it. Should be under PCGS test export. Okay, so I'm overwriting that. That will save it as an OBJ, all those models, every part of it. And it takes a little while. And then when you've done that, you go to your Unity, which is not booted up yet. Let's boot that up. Oops. We got a Unity. Hold on a moment. And leave Roblox Studio. Give it a moment. It's rendering, it's coming up. Should be coming up any second now. I know. Alright, well, I'm exporting, I'm opening up Unity is what I'm doing. When I come back, I'll be in Unity and we'll look at how we work with it in Unity. So long for now. Let me close on this broadcast and stream.